So let's now try to implement this go button. So our go button, how was it called here? Pause button. So pause button, this is on our document ready, so somewhere here. So let's get our pause button and on click. Let's implement a function. So pause button, so we pause this game and we restart the game, so we will need some boolean. So let's say pause, which is true at the beginning because the game is paused. And now let's say if the game is paused, then we will do something. We will restart the game. Restart the game actually. So restart the game means that the thing is starting to move, the snake is starting to move, so we will need some interval after each milliseconds, 100 milliseconds or so. Our snake will have to move, so let's just say we will have something and afterwards pause equals not pause. So here we will set interval, so we will have something, say redraw or some function like that after 100 milliseconds, and we also have to alter the text on this button. So inner text, I think it was, or inner HTML, inner text I think will be, so if it is paused then it will be go, or yeah, it will be like that, and in the other case here it will be pause, and this will be clear interval. Which one? Interval, I think it was like that. Interval is set interval, interval equals set interval, afterwards clear interval, and now this redraw function redraw, which redraws the snake in its next position. So we have to get the next position and redraw it. So how do we get the next position? We will see the direction. So direction determines the next position of the head, and the rest of the body elements will just follow each other. So for all the body elements starting from the last one, so let's say we start with the final element of the snake. Snake length -1 is the final element, while this is greater than 0 because 0th element will be calculated separately, I think so. Minus, and there is just reassignment, right? Snake element number I equals element number I minus 1 or plus 1? Minus 1, right? Snake I minus 1. But we can't just assign it like that because these are both objects, so let's just assign x and y coordinates separately. So x and y. Oh, and actually we have to check before that whether or not there is something wrong, because snake can be gone till the border or something like that, or till some obstacle. So let's say we have a function, let's say we have some function. The function could actually get the new position of the head, get new head position, and it will return our next position of the head as an object. Okay, so this will be our new position as an object. Let's say it's head, and then if this is null, then actually it means that snake has reached some wrong position and the game is ended. Okay, so let's just print something out. Game over, and that's it for redraw. No, nothing else needs to be done. But here we go on, we reorganize the snake and the head of the snake now. So snake 0 x is head x, and snake 0 y equals head y, and the next new head position function must return the new position of the head, and this is determined just by the zeroth position of the snake itself and by this variable direction. So let's see. So we will have to organize a switch of direction, and then if it is 0, meaning the snake is heading upwards, it means that the y variable must be, so we will have to return something. Let's say it head, or head. It will be an object. I don't know if I need to specify it here. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, we have to check here whether or not the upper border has been reached, right? If the upper border is reached, meaning that y is less, no, or actually, okay, we will think about it. If y is less than 0, or equal to 0, or larger than 0 in one case, so what will we return afterwards here is the question. Return something, head I think will be returned now, and actually we can maybe do it like that, and we can say that head x is now snake 0 x, and afterwards we will just correct those two attributes. So afterwards we return head, so here we will return null if this is 0 or less. So actually it can be only equal to 0, but alright, we'll let it be like that. Then we return 0 afterwards. If not, then head y is decreased, and that's it for each of those cases. So case 1, 2, and this is just default. So 0 is upwards, 2 is downwards. So here we check whether or not it is larger than y count or equal to y count, right? Y count is the number, so y count -1 is the last one, and equals, yes. Then we'll have the rem and plus in this case. And here about the x coordinates, 1 is to the right, so here greater or equal to x count, and then we will say x plus, and here x minus if x is like that, right? Cool. So let's see. Go. Oh, nothing here is happening. Some error. Y is not defined. 32. Okay, not y, but head y, right? Head y and so on. Yep. Let's see. Nothing happening, but no errors either. So let's check everything once more from the beginning. So when we click the pause button, if it is true that it is paused, it is true at the very beginning. Okay, so interval set interval redraw, and it's changing to go. It is changing. Okay, game over. So okay, we recalculating, but we didn't redraw. Right, we didn't redraw the snake. So how do we redraw the snake? Where do we redraw it? Draw snake, I think here now. So this function should be called then after we actually we have to actually let's just redraw everything, because also there will be some chickens afterwards, and those will be those also will have to be redrawn. So draw snake inside the generate stuff. Now we can't call generate stuff because it initializes the grid also, and initializes the grid. It means that no, but it is still no, but there will be some randomness included in the obstacles afterwards, so we can't call this thing. So let's just for now redraw the snake. So okay, so afterwards here, I think here we have to call this function again. So let's see. Oh right, something's happening, but the final element is not okay, because we redraw but we don't eliminate the previously drawn things, and this is exactly because initialize grid, and I think we have to separate in this initialize grid the actual drawing part from those calculations. So let's say we will have a function draw grid, and here we will just draw the grid actually. So in the first part I think we can get the context, and then we have initialized the context variable, and this thing can be put here now. So let's just call draw grid, and now we can just call this draw grid thing when we want to redraw something, right? And also here we want to really redraw the grid, so we have to start by clearing everything, and I think we can do it by clear a rectangle from 0, 0 till width of the canvas. So we get canvas and we get its width, and also canvas height. Alright, so now here where we get new head position, we recalculate everything, draw snake, but before that draw grid and then draw snake on the new grid. So what's happening now? Woohoo! Everything is happening and the snake is moving, and there is game over. And there is some more game over because we haven't stopped the timer afterwards when the game is over. Actually, before that we have to clear interval, and now let's say we went to the top, and that's it, game over, and that's it. Cool. And now actually the final thing about this basics is to actually be able to move to control the snake. So let's add the key press event handling here. So the event handling key press or key down, I think it was key down, which we will write in the document ready function. So here's our pause button, click, and now so the key down will be for document, on key down we will write a function, and there is event parameter, and I think event which is the key. So let's just see what keys do we have, which numbers are for those arrow keys, console log. So let's see whether or not it is working. Okay, it's working. So the up button 38, 39 is direction 1, direction 2 40, and not 41 but 37. So 37 is left, 38 is up. So let's just create a switch of those possible event which values. So 38 was up, okay, 38, and what we actually have to do, we just have to change, I think, the value of this variable direction. Now that's it. I think it's just so simple. And of 39 direction is 1, 40 was 2, and 37 was left 3. And actually we can also assign this button click, I think space was 32, it should be so, yeah, 32. So now it's pressing because this button is activated. I can press it by space, but if we press something else it doesn't work. So let's just say for the whole document, if I press space, then what will happen, this pause button click will happen. So let's just trigger the pause button click event. Okay. So that's it. Now let's see. Okay, so I start and I can really, so just look at that, I can control my snake. Cool. And actually I can do it also like that. Snake goes through itself. If I press up and down, it goes like that. We will also correct that, of course, afterwards, so that the snake can't cross itself. And we also have to generate now obstacles and generate those chickens and something like that. So, but for now I think it's quite alright. Let's just end it now and continue in another time. So we have now written 3 files. This is very small HTML file, the grid file for drawing the grid, also just 26 lines and 82 lines of our snake, actual snake script. So that's it for today. Thank you for being with me, for staying with me and enjoying the programming in JavaScript. So let's see you in another time then. Stay tuned to my channel, of course, subscribe to it, and see you soon. Bye.